The mining magnate Andrew Twiggy Forrest has blamed the revolving door of senior executives at his company Fortescue on the transition to renewable energy. Joining us, the Chief Investment Officer at the Motley, Scott Phillips, for our Tuesday chat. Scott, what did you make of his speech?
Pete, good morning. It's fascinating, mate. Twiggy's really riding two horses at the same time here. We're going to try and work out whether he can keep doing it. On one hand, he has an obscenely profitable Fortescue. I'm a shareholder, by the way. I'm very happy with that. On the other hand, though, he's going full tilt at this green energy revolution, the Fortescue Future Industries business. He's taken a massive swipe at plenty of people, including the fossil fuel industry, for delaying the change to renewable energy. Now, he, in theory and seemingly legitimately and authentically, believes that we need to make that change. He's also obviously put a lot of money into trying to make that change happen at Fortescue and make some money from it. And as you said, he's lost a lot of senior execs, and he's saying, well, they're leaving because they don't share my vision. It is the challenge of being a relatively iconoclastic entrepreneur and business owner, business leader who says, here's the way I'm going, you're either with me or you're not. And it seems like a lot of his senior execs have said, yeah, thanks, Twiggy, but I'll go and try my luck outside Fortescue. It is fascinating for shareholders because you've really got, as I said, those two things happening at exactly the same time. Makes it very difficult to value the business. Also interesting to see how far he's going to push this one. There were some reports, I think it was late last week, that Fortescue was in talks to buy renewable energy from other providers for, I think, the first time. They've been pretty keen to do it themselves up to this point. So lots happening, billions and billions of dollars at stake. These are high stakes gambles. Seems like some of his executives aren't particularly happy about it. He's certainly on the warpath.
Home values, Scott, in regional areas, why are they rising faster than those in the capitals?
This is fascinating, Pete. Look, it's only a small difference, but when you talk about large dollar values, it's meaningful. Capital cities' house prices over the last quarter up 1%. In the bush, in the regions, up 1.2%. So not a big difference, but meaningful, as I said, in the sheer dollar value we're talking about. Two reasons are being pushed forward, effectively linked to the same cause, though. The first is, of course, worsening affordability in the cities themselves. In other words, people simply can't afford to pay more for those houses, given the relatively stagnant wages, although we saw them grow last week, and also very quickly rising interest costs. On the flip side, that makes regional capitals or regional towns and cities look much more affordable. They are much more affordable by comparison. And so we're seeing the combination of people simply not being able to pay more in the cities if they're staying, and or pay more in the regions when they move, simply because your dollar goes a lot further with cheaper residential housing. So it's an interesting one to watch. Of course, work from home remains a hot button across the economy. Certainly that's part of what's able to give people those options for those who can work from somewhere other than their company's head office. So it's a really interesting one, mate. I think we'll continue to see it. The big watch out here, by the way, is for those regional communities, because generally speaking, in the regions, wages are lower. That's why house prices are lower and vice versa. If you've got a lot of cashed up buyers coming from metropolitan areas, from cities and CBDs into those areas, they push up those prices because they're adding to demand, and the locals are finding themselves also priced out of these houses. So the housing problem doesn't get better just because CBDs aren't going up. You're just kind of spreading the problem a little bit further, and so really is something policymakers need to be paying attention to.
Scott Phillips, good to see you as always. We'll chat to you again soon.